Hi everyone. I'll just set the presentation setting. Yes. Hi, and thanks Marianne for the previous introductory slides. Really insightful, and Nicholas as well. What a cool venture, yours. My name is Lorenzo. I'm the head of R&D at a food waste focused company called Reduced. And Reduced is a small startup founded about 2.5 years ago that works along the lines of taste from waste. So it starts from our common food waste problem, which Marianne already kind of gave us a bit of introduction to, but food waste. And I just reported one of the multiple pieces of data that come up in the internet when looking for food waste, and I read that 88 million tons of food produced and destined to human consumption annually in Europe is wasted along the food supply chain. Well, Reduce started exactly as a project to showcase that in those wastes that happen at the farmer, the producer's level, or at the processing level, can still have value. And so the purpose and the goal was to showcase that for the people that were interested in acting as a transitioning for a greener economy. So we focus on food lost at food production and food processing levels as a general line. We thought Reduced is not a company that makes functional ingredients or works with nutrition specifically, or at least at the moment, but we focus on taste. And we think that taste is the key to reduce food waste. So all the ingredients that we make, which I'll have a brief introduction to in a couple of slides, are focused on its, let's say, sensory uses, and how they can be implemented to, for example, flavor diets for a more plant-based nutrition, or bring umami taste to foods that have been lacking flavors. So on the left, you can see the two young guys, William on the left and Emil on the right. They're the founders of Reduced. And they started off this venture developing stocks. So the most basic way to reduce food waste also at household level is to make stocks out of old vegetables, ugly vegetables, or foods, bones from animals, and boil them down, simmering them. And that was kind of their first entry ticket to the world of food upcycling. So it started out like that, and today we also work with invasive species, in particular the shore crab, as we will see in a couple of slides. And yeah, the idea here is to upcycle food and to reintroduce it into the human food chain. So we combine innovative processing techniques and especially traditional fermentation knowledge to bring out the flavors in the waste streams that we work with, and to kind of showcase how they can be reintroduced in different food manufacturing. So as said, we work between innovation. We have last year filed a proprietary technology that can allow us to transform a variety of waste streams that we access into flavorful ingredients. In particular, I'm just going to give you an example, otherwise everything is going to stay up in the air. We've been working since February 2022 with mushrooms, industrially farmed mushrooms from second grades, or mushrooms that have been had broken stems or hats, or have been bruised, or kind of have lost more of the value. We transfer them through this proprietary technology into an umami-rich ingredient that can be used, for example, for flavoring plant-based foods, meat analogs, meat substitutes, or fish substitutes for that matter. We have an international food ingredient certification that is in process. This is meant mostly for us to work on a B2B level. Reduced is transitioning towards the ingredients market, and for that purpose, the quality of the ingredients have to withstand certain controls. This whole project, the initial product based on mushroom, was initiated through the Danish Technological Institute of Denmark, which represented also a huge partner to get to grips in this new technology that we have. All of our products and everything that we work with is of organic origin. And as I said, we work between innovation and tradition with innovative processing techniques, but also kind of with an eye always to the past and looking to innovate by using kind of traditional techniques. And at Reduce, this translates into the production of koji, which is a traditional Japanese starter culture that originates from mushrooms of the Aspergillus family. And what we do is that we grow this starter culture on Danish barley, and we're looking right now also into integrating it in learning how to grow it on waste streams. This is a project that has been in development from the end of this month with KU, with the Copenhagen University, on how to grow this fungus on waste streams from the industry. We grow the koji because we use its enzymatic potential. So we use the enzymes that the fungus produces in its reproductive cycle as technical aids to transform macronutrients, proteins, carbohydrates, and starches found in the other waste streams that we access and turning them into flavor. So yeah, Reduce is one of the few companies in the world that produces this sauce that we will be introduced soon, the Eco Umami sauce, which is based on roasted chickens that are known as spent chickens. These are chickens that have gone through their kind of egg laying cycle and are considered inefficient and not of value anymore. So they're usually turned into pulp or used for biogas production. And so Reduced purchases some of these chickens and uses the meat to produce both the bouillon in the picture on the right from egg-laying chickens. So that's just a simple method with boiling and simmering down. And also the Eco Umami drops, which we will see in a couple of slides. So yes, usually the meat of these chickens is very tough and it's kind of hard to eat. Usually some of these chickens are sold as stock or bouillon chickens in freezers. But yeah, and so Reduces purchases them and transform them into this product and what we'll see soon. We have used a third party to evaluate the climate impact of this stock compared to a more traditional chicken stock. We found out that it is 6.7 times less CO2 than kind of an average conventional chicken stock. You can see it still, there's a lot to optimize and a lot to learn from making stocks. So we can see that a lot of the footprint of our stock comes from the packaging solution and the glass, and a lot of it also in the production. So this is the use of the energy at production site for boiling and simmering the chicken stock. As I mentioned earlier, we also work with invasive species, and I think this ties back into what Marianne was mentioning earlier about having a positive environmental impact on the ecosystems, and therefore I think this one is an example of how this can happen. We produce a shore crab stock made of these invasive crabs that are usually caught as a bycatch of larger fish in the Northern Sea and in all around Scandinavia. There's millions of them in the number. So this is they're brought at a production facility and combined with some second grade vegetables and some black pepper, and they're boiled and simmered down. This one has, compared to a more conventional, let's say, shore crab stock or bouillon, about 3 times less CO2, and most of it comes from land use, which I believe this is connected to how the fishing techniques of these larger boats, the racking of the marine ecosystems and in catching the fish has a massive impact that it creates this 70% of this product's impact itself. We also work with bull calves, bouillon, and this is the males of the cows that are killed at birth because of no use, and they don't produce any milk. So for milk production, this is the same technique, and this one also has even a little less kind of impact in CO2. We can see here that again it's the glass packaging that influences a lot the count, the total count of this stock. We do have non-glass packaging from recycled plastic that we use for food service, so stocks and bouillons that are dedicated to canteens and larger businesses. The products in the jars are actually sold in supermarkets, and this is the kind of standard 200 ml format. And as I mentioned, this is our first ingredient. It's eco umami base in Danish, based on hens. Again, these are the same hens that are at the end of their egg-laying cycle, that are processed by roasting them, and then they're fermented over a period of 4 weeks with our starter culture, koji, that I was explaining earlier. So we mix water, salt, roasted chickens, and the koji grown on Danish barley, and we ferment it for about 4 weeks. In the process, the proteins from the chicken are broken down by the enzymes of the fungus, and we therefore end up with a very rich umami base that can be used as an ingredient in restaurants, canteens, or also for food manufacturing. It's a concentrated product. It has high salt and is very versatile for those that can eat animal-based products. With what concerns plant-based solutions, we have a couple as well. Obviously, the second-grade vegetables bouillon, also something that Marianne already mentioned earlier. These are second-grade vegetables that are bruised or are after their expiry date. These are actually collected at a distributor. So these are not vegetables collected at the retail level in supermarkets, but at the distributor level. So they're vegetables that consumers won't access anyways, and purchases them through a large distributor, which these are vegetables that also do not fit packaging conditions, or are too large or too small, or have again are ugly. The method is the same, so this is a very straightforward bouillon that is boiled and simmered down, and it's flavored with some seaweed. Again, it's the glass container that kind of gives us trouble with our CO2 footprint, which here is still kind of efficient in some way, but it can be much improved. And then the organic umami sauce based on mushrooms. So these are second-grade mushrooms or bruised and broken mushrooms that are collected from a large Danish producer just outside Copenhagen. And these are mushrooms that, again, for some reason won't be sold because they're broken. And through the IP that we developed at Reduced, we managed to create this organic umami sauce, which again which today is sold as a ingredient for food manufacturing. So we are working with larger Danish food manufacturers that have integrated this sauce for its richness and complexity of flavor into many of their plant-based and meat alternative options. So it kind of adds up a bit of flavor and makes it more appealing to the end consumer. So again, it can be thought of as a tool to enhance the transition towards more plant-based diets. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning, we believe that taste is one of the main tools that Reduce to support this transition to a more green economy. And here we have an example, which is we thought it was fun to showcase. This is a plant-based sausage that is made out of waste. So there is 3 different kinds of waste. It's made in collaboration with Jesper Holmberg kitchen. So the kitchen that also was mentioned earlier in some of the slides. And it's made with carrot pulp from the production of juices. It's made with beetroot pulp, also from production of juices, and it's made from a residue of reduced mushroom umami sauce, which is kind of the pulp that it stays from the mushrooms. It's a way we thought of a new product development model where different waste streams are combined into a new delicious product that can be fed back into the human food chain. So again, it's a waste plus waste and plus another waste kind of innovation type. And yeah, we have a lot of challenges ahead. As I said, the company is young, and compared to Nicholas's slide, the data is definitely missing here. But we're working on integrating data-heavy solutions to track and trace what Reduced is doing for a greener transition. But definitely one of the points that I thought was interesting to bring up is to have a side stream supplier network. So to identify or map the supplier network, so have a traceability of the side streams that we can access and also know who produces them and in what kind of volumes. This is very important for us because having consistent volumes of side streams allows us to gain continuity and also ensure quality over time. And another point is the life cycle assessment of the products, and we're working on initiating some project with master's students at different universities, also at KU, to kind of track the assessment of the upcoming products. Also an infrastructure to upcycle waste. So that goes, this is especially relevant for a small company like Reduced, which lacks the infrastructure to handle some of the waste and therefore can use partnerships or support from larger industry to make a change. Also incentives for side stream producers to upcycle their side streams, for example, quantify the percentage of upcycled food in a food product through a certification. I think here there's a bug in the slide, but this was an idea about tracking the content of food waste in a specific food product. So at Reduce, we imagine one day that the new food products of the future would contain a ratio of how much of that waste, of how much of that product actually contains potentially wasted foods. And also the certifications discussion is something long to go, but also in fact aligning work and a transition to a responsible food system using certifications and standards that are shared throughout this industry. Thank you. And I think that was it on my side. If you have any questions that we cannot answer within the Q&A session later, you can reach out at lorenzo@reduce.dk. Thank you very much.
Thank you.